What's up, guys? I'm changing up the content a little bit. Something I didn't introduce before is my wife got a Miata. It's been sitting for a little while. It's got no oil pressure, but it does run. I'm going to change the oil pump, a few other things, fuel pump, just to get her back on the road. So today I'm going to show you how to turn your paint from this to this. So let's get into it. So to get into this a little bit, be sure to wash your car first. We washed this not too long ago. So all I'm gonna do is use a waterless wash and wax just to get started. And I would recommend before polishing, you don't have to use the clay luber. You can buy clay bars and use like a quick detailer that'll provide enough lubricant. What we're gonna do, like, I don't know if you can hear that, but that paint is super contaminated. We want to get that out so we don't scratch it anymore. But what I like to start with is the Meguiar's Ultimate Compound. It's great for beginners and it actually does a really good job. Really, you don't need a polishing compound afterwards, but I use one anyway. And I'm not a big fan of their cleaner wax, but it still does a good job. It did that. Still does a good job, so that's what we're going to use. But to get started, that's what we're going to do. On a single stage paint, you don't have a clear coat, so it is going to pull off some color, so don't be alarmed. Same thing with your polishing step. And you can see there's still a little bit of blue even after the wax, because all you're essentially doing is taking off a very thin layer of paint, as long as you're careful, to bring back the shine. For the Ultimate Compound, we're going to use an orange pad. These are Bauer pads. I have Chemical Guy pads, but I don't know where they went, so we're going back to the Harbor Freight ones. The Chemical Guys have a honeycomb pattern, so you get more of a contact area when you're polishing. And that's pretty much it. We'll go step by step. Wash your car, or waterless wash and wax. Clay lube to remove contaminants. First cut, second cut, then a wax. So you're going to miss some on your towel, miss some on the panel, make sure it's nice and wet, get it cleaned off. Go forward to back just to avoid any extra scratches that you don't need, and then come back over it with the clean side just to get that all off. Make sure to lube up your clay. Definitely lube up the panel really nice. That way you don't risk scratching it. While you're going over it, you'll be able to actually hear the contaminants though as it lifts. I don't like the fact that this clay is black, because you can't see it as well. See in there, it pulled out some of it. When you're done with it, you'll fold it over and kind of knead it how you need to, just for a new panel so you don't get it dirty. Wipe it off to get all this crap off. Close in there. There's not really a lot of scratchiness anymore, so we'll go ahead and buff it. Actually using a Bauer, it's a DA style or orbital sand or buffer sander combo. And then so we're going to start out Ultimate Compound. For the cutting, we're going to start out with a 5 for the speed. and then you'll progressively go down when you work your way to the wax. But for now, a 5. I'm going to kind of blotch it over the panel. Start in small sections. You might want to start smaller your first go around to make sure it's all right, but we know the paint does all right with it, so we're going to send it. Wipe it off with a clean microfiber.
She's already looking so much better.
And you can tell a huge difference. And that, a lot of that's from the speed. You will really want to use for the cutting part, pretty much all throughout the whole thing. Cutting is a 5, give or take 5 to 6. And then what we're doing is a very light pressure. Like this one, it's going to come with a handle. You don't want the handle. Take that shit off. Nobody uses it. Hold the back, hold the top for a light but firm pressure. So now we're going to move on to the polishing part and cut the speed down to a 4. So blue pad. Some cleaning polish. Give it a couple of bloops on there. Same thing. You can already tell the pad's a little bit softer if you look at the squish. I'm actually going to move the pad so it goes on right. That's a little better. Cut it down to a 4. Wipe this off quickly, essentially right after you're done. If you want to be more of a professional, you can bring out a microfiber for each one. I don't really care. So I know how to buff well enough, it's alright. Wipe that headlight back off. Don't drop the pads on the ground. As you can tell already, it's a huge difference. I'll take the camera for a second. We haven't even moved on to the wax, but hello and goodbye. Hello and goodbye. On to the wax. The wax is your black pad. I'm going to cut it down to a 3. The only difference that we're going to have for the wax that we didn't do for the polish and the buffing, wax you want to let haze over so you can wipe it off easily. But other than that, essentially the process is the same. Pat it over the panel. That wax is really liquidy. And now we wait for it to haze over. I'll probably do 2 coats of wax just to be safe. And then we'll get back into it. This is only our first coat of wax. We're going to go ahead and wipe that off. Like I said, we're going to do 2 because this car obviously hasn't been done, probably has never been done. But for a single stage paint and being a 1990 Miata, That's an insane difference already, and that's only one coat. So we'll get on our second coat. We won't film that, and we'll come back to it. And now that you're all done, you turn your paint from looking like this to like this. And like I said, it's a single stage paint. It's not going to be perfect. It's a 90 Miata, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was. She's going to look good rolling down the road. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Y'all have a good one.